Taking a deep breath, Jake noticed the previously fresh, filtered air was suddenly stale. He turned his head left to look for the two men against the far wall, but it was just too damn dark to see anything. He was sure that's where the lab technician and scientist were, just a moment ago, no more than a few feet away. Finally, he asked, "Hey, guys, what's going on?" There was no response. "Hey, is anyone there?" Again, there was nothing. Just quiet. Jake sat up in one swift motion and started to stand, confused at the lack of response. Whoa! He had a head rush, and wasn't sure why he felt slightly dizzy. He had just lain down. He wasn't weak. He just felt as if things weren't quite right. A captain in the U.S. Marine Corps, Jake was little over 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. He tried to keep himself in good shape, so this wasn't normal. Moving a bit slower, he could get himself standing while leaning against the table, trying not to knock anything over. He felt dust on the floor with his bare feet. "What in the hell?" Jake said to himself. Stepping slowly to not stub his toes, he began sliding his feet. He headed to where he remembered seeing the workbench with the computer console where the technician sat. His toe touched the chair first, and reaching forward, he grasped what felt like human hair. Jake jerked his hand back and slid to the left while leaning forward toward the workbench. Running his hands over the bench, he could not find what he was looking for. Earlier that day, he had noticed the lab technician's cigarettes and lighter on the workbench next to the computer console. Where in hell the technician went to smoke down here, he had no idea, but the lighter was his goal. Down here was a first-of-its-kind prototype research facility full of advanced technology projects. It was a top-secret underground military installation in the Nevada desert. This facility was the type of place that created the Area 51 alien stories. Moving right now, and skipping around what he was now absolutely sure was a body, he found the lighter on the right of the keyboard. "Damn, I'm sure I'd seen it on the left," he thought. Flicking the lighter on, it blinded him for a moment, as his eyes previously strained for any light. Sure enough, sitting before him was the mummified remains of the lab technician, sitting in the same chair as before. The technician's body was sitting rocked back in its chair as if he simply died while working. The scientist was nowhere in sight. Next to where he found the lighter was a notebook that the lab technician had been using to log his experiment. Jake checked the entries and noted the last was on July 8th at 9 p.m. The 8th? Jake was sure today was the 5th, the day after the 4th of July holiday. He was positive because he spent the weekend in Las Vegas to ensure he was able to report in on time. How would he lose 3 days in the blink of an eye? What was more important, bodies don't mummify in 3 days. They didn't even mummify in a month.